Lights, camera, action. We are here.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, give me a high five.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Planet Earth. The only talk show that's filmed during the day
and aired at night.
And watched whenever. Right?
Yeah, watched whenever.
The number one intergalactical. Yeah. Give it up for my co-host all over the universe, world-renowned Amy, also known as Penny Jans, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my old stage name. I love that you remember that. That's so impressive.
Yeah, it's still in my phone. We've been friends forever.
To this day, I wonder if I would have got gigs if I kept the Penny Jans. Like a name, you know, Rodney Dangerfield says, what's in a name? A lot.
Right.
You know, you meet someone. So, tangent. All right. LA, I dyed my hair red, changed my name to Lily Jans, and I put it a Z. I was getting auditions.
What, you put in a Z?
Yeah, so Amy Jans, instead of Jans, I did Janz.
Wow.
And more auditions. So a lot is to it. Anyway, give it up for my co-host, Dominic Leonelli.
What up?
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, a lot of people told me early on in comedy, they said, bro, you got to change your name. Nobody could read Dominic Leonelli.
What?
Right? And I'm like, well, the host is supposed to tell me how to say it. Like, I'm like, when you become famous enough, the host is going to read it.
Also, like, Dominic's a good name because I don't know many Dominics.
I got teased a lot. It's like a girl's name, Dominique, you know?
No, that's like the twin of boy and girl. Like, if you have a boy and a girl, popular is like Dominique and Dominic.
Yeah.
You know, that's such a cool pair.
Dominique. Is it Dominique?
Oh, my
Or like a teacher in third grade would call me Dumb instead of Dom.
Oh.
She'd be like, what? Dumb? And the whole class would go, ah.
Oh, and then what's funny is you could flip it back on them so fast,
yeah,
but
like,
you didn't.
You're the one supposed to be teaching me.
Yeah.
Of course I'm dumb.
Inappropriate. Like,
ladies and gentlemen, we have a great podcast. Shout out to our editor putting together a great episode. Woo. Our printer ran out of paper.
Thanks, Bob.
So what we got here is we're talking money. This is the money podcast. We're talking expensive places to live. We're talking all about finance here.
If you're at the bank.
Right. So yeah, that's why we're at a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, Capital One. Shout out to Capital One.
Capital One, yeah.
This is great. So if you're thinking about moving out, if you're thinking about moving, if you want to change, there's a lot of people that now they want to be passport people. You see that?
Laptop lifestyle kind of people.
Yeah, like they move somewhere. Their ideas, they get paid a base salary in the U.S. on the internet.
Nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah, and then you move somewhere else. I would be down for that.
I would do that, and I don't get why. Here's the weird thing: it's so stressful with taxes.
Right.
Like.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, no, because I honestly thought about how cool would it be to do that, and I don't know. It's confusing. It's too confusing with taxes, so I was like, I don't know.
I have before. You get a tax break, actually. I used to live from Ohio to New York. You get a major tax break. But I have a friend that works on the cruise ships as a singer.
Oh, wow.
And he does one cruise ship a month. So he's gone 4 to 7 days, and he lives in Bangkok. And he told me that's enough. One cruise ship a month is for him to have all his bills covered. Because that's how cheap it is to live in Bangkok.
Oh, that's amazing. Does he live on the boat in Bangkok?
No, he's got a place. He say he lives in a nice city, eats out every day. He was telling me it's like you can get massages, full body massage for $5. Like $5 American. And then he was also saying like food's like $1. You can get rice bowls and stuff for like $1.
What? And so he gets his money U.S., right?
Yeah, and they fly him out. So like these, cruise ship entertainers, amazing. I don't want to put their budget out there, but most of these guys, they walk away with about $2,500 for the week. So off $2,500 a month,
for performing like one
These
show?
are like the big theater. He's a singer, so he's going in the theater. He's flying on. But yeah, no, it's good money. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, I have a question. Okay. So we went on a cruise ship. We left out of Brooklyn, which was cool. Did you ever go out of that
there's one that leaves out of Brooklyn.
It's so cool.
Like a real ship, like a big one?
The MSC cruise ship. I think they actually just
huge.
ended it April because it was too stressful, like with the weather. But hold on. So while I was watching the shows, okay, we saw a Circus Olay show and a hypnotist show. What do you do as a performer? Because I'm wondering this, but I get to ask someone who actually knows. When the boat is rocking wildly, do you address the seasickness?
Yeah, you have to.
Do you get seasick?
I have every now and then. Last time I got seasick was like 2 years ago. I was in Alaska and there was a broken stabilizer on the ship.
Broken stabilizer?
Yeah, like the stabilizer keeps the boats in order.
Oh
and
my gosh.
I was so sick. You're supposed to use Dramamine, but you know, I'm thinking, oh, I'm tough. I could do it.
Yeah.
I was never so sick in my entire life.
Did you throw up?
I had to put a pillowcase. I had to tie it around my eyes because even with my eyes closed, the little bit of light from under the door in the peak hole was like enough to make me throw up. It was the seasick is no joke. I don't know how they did it before the like
Dramamine.
Yeah, like
and then they have those little bracelets you put on your pressure acupuncture point. You have those?
It's like.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, imagine Vikings going, like, you're all seasick and you got to go take over somewhere.
Yeah, and their ships were seasick size. Like, they weren't massive. They were big, but, you know.
Yeah, you're not supposed to really diss the ship, so sometimes they don't like it if you're talking about the stabilizer, which, say stabilizer is broke, they might tell you, hey, don't mention anything to the guest about the ship rocking, and you're on stage like this, and you can't say nothing.
Oh, my goodness. Well, yeah, we saw a Circus Olay show. The people, I look up, there's people over my head in hula hoops running, and this boat's going like this. And I'm annoyed because I'm like, if this chain snaps, they're going to snap my neck, fall on my neck, you know, and I was just like concerned. And then there's this girl on the like a massive thing, and I'm just like, is this a good idea to do Cirque du Soleil on the cruise ship? I'm
surprised they even had it going. MSC is more of a ship that has a lot of foreigners on it. There's not many English-speaking people on that ship, so I don't do stand-up on there. I got offered a gig on there, and it was like, nope, half the people there didn't know what I was saying. But it came out of Australia, too. Like, I don't know. They speak English over there, but...
Yeah, I think they say it's, like, European on the sea
or you get the Dutchness of it all. So, hey, you know, I know people that live on a cruise ship because it's actually when... I think they're stopping it, but when you go Diamond or something, you could cruise all summer. I know people that... like school teachers and people that are retired, and they said they got rid of their house because... all the food's free on the ship. Yeah. And you don't pay. If you're a Diamond cruiser, I think you could just gamble $500 a month and you could stay on the ship.
That's so cool.
So you get free food, free rent, everything for you and your wife for $500 a month.
That's really
Ladies and gentlemen, so we are talking crazy expensive places here. We got, which in my opinion, I was actually shocked when we seen these. Yeah. But it kind of makes sense. I always thought it was New York. New York is not the most expensive place.
Oh, no. And coffee now is $6 for a small cup.
Yeah, we got the 50% off Capital One deal. It's worth the 30% interest.
Right.
So, number one most expensive place in the world. What do you think it is, Amy?
Oh, I wish I didn't look. But I would have thought maybe Dubai.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that.
I thought that was like the richest country.
Yeah, no, it's actually Monaco, which I only heard about this in like the 80s and 90s from billionaires. Remember? They'd be like, oh, he's got a thing in Monaco, you know?
Yeah. Where is Monaco, really? So it's in Europe.
Hey, Siri, where is Monaco?
Here it is on the map.
Okay, let's see.
Wow, we're 4,000 miles away from Monaco.
I want to travel so bad.
I don't even know where that is. It's by Cap Dello. Let's see. Monaco from New York. Yeah, it's in Europe. Ooh. 38 Monaco officially principality.
It's by the Grand Prix or something?
Oh, it's a sovereign city.
What does sovereign city mean? Like
actually, let's look that up.
Yeah, I know. I feel like U.S. history, like in public schools, I don't know that much. You know,
city that is independent. You're smarter than me.
No.
Hey, Siri, what is the number one tourist thing to do in Monaco? Oh, wow.
MapQuest. Who uses MapQuest?
That's old school.
Right?
Come on now. You know I'm 40. Visiting the Prince's Palace. Wow. The Casino di Monte Carlo. Wow.
Actress Grace Kelly. She was the Princess of Monaco. Like,
no way.
Can you imagine being a Hollywood actress and then you marry the Prince of Monaco?
That is crazy.
Yeah. But
man, some people get all the wins, huh? Right. Oh, well, maybe not. You know, that is wild, though. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Monaco, that is wild. Yeah, it's over in Europe. You know, who would have thought? The second most expensive place.
Guess what? You guys type it in the comments.
Drum roll. It is New York City.
Oh, it is.
But you know what's crazy to me? What I love about New York, me and you both kind of been scavengers in New York, right?
Yeah.
We had to fend for ourselves. I lived in a place one time in New York when I first moved here in like 2014, and it was $450 a month to rent a room.
It exists.
Yeah, I mean, they're out there. So you could literally, the cheapest place in the world could be New York.
Right.
Where's
It's
you
so
gonna live?
funny. I know. Yeah, I lived in a literal closet, not one of those, oh my gosh, my room is so small, it's a closet. I lived in a literal, illegal tenement, like, closet. The
remember-
grandma slept in the wall.
Didn't you say you had to knock on the door to leave the closet because you had to go through the bedroom or something?
No, that's funny though. I can imagine. That's so visual. Yeah, but if you look, you can find it. And I have friends or people that I know that have never left home in the hometown.
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, it's just so expensive. I'm like, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. You live in those kind of places,
Right.
and you work your way up like in the ladder, and you know, I feel once you're in New York, you grow and learn.
You get connections.
Yeah.
Like then you find the rent controlled apartment. You get your good friend.
Right.
That's what I love about big city. It's all
Right.
moving and shaking.
Moving and shaking, but if you don't leave, you won't even know what exists outside of the door. But of course, you'd be like judgy. One would be judgy of living in a literal closet because they have access to, you know, a kitchen or a basement
Right.
and all that. And it's like, well, if you want to grow, you have to sacrifice some stuff. And I hate, you know, it's all about the soft life now. I'm working on being more soft in my life because, you know, I did everything the hard way. And I'm
You
like,
did.
oh, I didn't have to do it that hard. So
I don't know
anyway,
how you
it's a
did
balance.
it. But you
It's-
moved out at 18. What, if you had to
Yeah.
give advice to people to chase their dreams and move on, I mean, you
Ooh.
went straight from, what was it, like PA to New Jersey, right? New
Jersey girl.
Jersey
Yeah.
to, I'm so dumb.
No.
I in my
you're
mind,
not.
I thought New Jersey was a city in Pennsylvania.
It's close to PA though, so that counts. Advice, I would say I'm more of a cautionary tale because I do think I went out with zero resources. And when you have zero resources and you're incredibly shy to ask for help, you do everything on your own, which gets you where? Nowhere.
Makes you a winner.
Yeah, I would have. I think any advice would be go get a trade, get a vocation so you can make money fast. Safety is everything. I was like, oh, you know, I shared half a living room floor at a point in Hollywood behind the Hollywood and Highland.
No, you didn't.
Mall. Yeah, and
How much did you pay for the floors?
I paid. Yeah, that was $450, and I'm like, oh, that's a little expensive.
How old were you?
honestly. I was 19. I just turned 20.
That's when you moved out there?
Yeah, and I lied to my mom. I said, oh, it's a friend from school, and I have to say, I believe I have angels looking after me, or something is protecting me, because I tell you, I shared half a living room floor with a guy.
What?
And I'm not
With
even
a guy?
I didn't
Where'd
know.
you find this guy?
So, get this. So I found it on Craigslist. I said, hey, would you mind if I live in New Jersey. Can I give you the money and you mail the keys?
Wow.
They said, yeah. And, I was 19 when I did all of this. And I look back, I'm like, that was not smart.
Right.
Like,
They could have just mailed you any keys.
I'm not even kidding. Thank goodness. I think I have angels or some force protecting me, because the mail room, one, I had no idea it was a mail. Two, he was awesome. He was cool as anything. Another fellow actor, maybe like 2 years older than me. So like very respectful. And I'm just like, I'm so lucky. Now, mind you, the woman of the apartment was a little odd. She made me sign this handwritten contract that said, I will not touch the cat's towel. The cat's towel is his bed.
Wow.
After the shower, I will squeegee the window. I will not twist the doorknob this way. And so I was like, I started to get that. Ugh. And I had the landlord of the building pull me over one day. He said, hey, you live with her? I said, yeah. He goes, I want to let you know you're her 18th roommate in so many months. He goes, if I were you, I would leave. And so thank goodness, I was like, I'm getting my own studio apartment. This is how I know there's something to thinking positive, not toxic positive, but like believing and feeling it, to where I kind of lost it along the way because you get bitter, sad, frustrated, exhausted.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I just realized, I was like, I need to get back to that point of view of that 19, 20-year-old self. Of I remember every day I wake up feeling so grateful no matter what my circumstances were. And so I ended up I'm not going to say manifesting. I worked really hard. I got a job 3 days after moving at Johnny Rockets Hollywood and Highland. And with that little income I made waitressing at Johnny Rockets, I ended up getting my own studio apartment, $650 utilities included.
What?
Roach infested, but you know what? It was
Where
my
were you
own.
at? Yeah, what part of Hollywood?
It was just a block down, La Brea and Franklin.
Wow,
So
that's so cheap.
Yeah, that's how I know something. If you really believe it, I do believe there's a force that will protect you. So I got to get back to it personally.
What was driving you being 19, just, senior year of high school pretty much, right?
Yeah.
You spent 1 year in Jersey after high school?
I went to an acting school thing in New York at 18 from after high school. And then I couldn't afford the second year. So I worked at Benihana waitressing for a month. And
Where in New York?
In Jersey.
Oh,
so
okay.
I had to move back in for a little bit. And I said, I'm getting out of here no matter what. So then on Craigslist, I'm applying. And I got a job. I would commute to interview. And thank goodness I got a job at this like bakery cafe thing. And from there, I ended up sharing a room with somebody. And,
Where in L.A., you mean?
No, in New York.
And so when you were 18, you moved out to New York originally.
Yeah, New York. And I lived in New York for a little bit. And then the cafe, I was making $15 an hour, which was pretty good at the time. But then they cut. So this girl, her boyfriend worked there. I'm not going to say names. We'll say Jonathan. And Jonathan ate all the food. I'm not even kidding. So she gets him a job, Jonathan. And every time I see Jonathan, he's eating all of the food out of the fridge. And so cut to, we have a meeting. They are going out of business.
Wow.
I said, Jonathan ate us out of business. So then they ended up saying, well, it became kind of a toxic environment. There was these two catty girls, Emily and I forget. The girl was so unmemorable. I forgot her name. But they were so rude and catty. Mean girls exist at every age, which is disgusting. I feel you guys are kind to each other, I feel like. Right?
No, I don't know. I mean, it depends. We don't play that same game girls do. I mean, some guys do, but then you're like, I don't want to hang out with you.
Right.
I think guys are more, guys become catty around other girls. Really? Like, that's what it is. Guys will be cool when they're together.
Yeah,
but then as soon as a girl comes around, now the alpha male, the chest comes out, people are pulling out their bank accounts. Man, that's crazy. You moved from 18 to New York. I didn't even know that about you. Then you went from New York to LA.
Yeah.
Well, now, were you thinking about being a comedian then, or was it acting? What was it?
Well, so I went to the acting conservatory, then did improv, and I fell in love with improv. So we had this thing called Meisner. You did Meisner, right?
Yeah.
You're wearing a black shirt.
I'm wearing a black shirt.
You're wearing a black shirt.
I'm wearing a black shirt.
Yes, you're wearing a black shirt.
I'm wearing a black shirt.
You're wearing, and so my technique is repetition, and you react moment to moment like a little blade of grass, kind of reacting and moving with it.
Yeah, your truth.
Yeah, and I had this thing where I was reading these scripts, and I was just getting in my head at that time. But that was 18-year-old me where I didn't know how to cry because I wasn't allowed to cry as a kid. Wow. My mom would be like, why are my kids psychotic? But anyway, so cut to. At that point, I was not in touch with my emotions. So I said, you know what? Oh, yeah. So then, thank goodness we had improv, and I was free. Wow. I stopped thinking. I was so in my head. And then improv, I was like, it was like, wait. And so everybody said, you're going to be on SNL. They're like, you're going to be a comedian. So I said, what else? So I did open mics when I was 19. And, Yeah. So
the rest is history.
No, the rest. I'm a prime example. If you don't believe in yourself, if you are your own worst enemy, what happens? You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything.
Believe in yourself.
Everything you've been through is so much that's led you to here. Even me with improv, it's like improv helped me majorly with comedy, with stand-up. Because it is like, oh, you could just act like a chicken and get laughs.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, let's get back to the topic of finances, unless you want to.
I want to know really quick. Okay, wait. When did you move to New York? You have an interesting story, too.
Yeah, it took me forever to move out here. I dropped out of school at 17.
You were married, right?
Almost, yeah. I was engaged. I bought a house. And I dropped out of school when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
I kept dropping out of school.
Why?
I dropped out like 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade.
You worked?
Yeah, and then like the first week of senior year, I really dropped out for real. I was like done forever after that. I went to some vocational school and got a GED in like 3 days.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then...
that's the way to go, I think. You get a vocation... And, you know, I'm sure you could get a real job.
Well, I've learned construction, but it didn't really pan out. I couldn't get the construction job. I quit school to get this construction job, making like $1,000 a week. And when I told the guidance counselor it was $1,000 a week cash, she's like, "Oh, I would quit too." She's like, "Look, you're in learning disability class. You're not going to college. You're gonna end up being a construction worker." She goes, "You can graduate early here." So I did it, and then I couldn't get the job. So I got a job in the mall at a fast food place.
Okay.
It is what it is. And it taught me how to work hard. I mean, literally, I was living off bologna and bread.
Yeah.
I was like, got a job landscape, and I had one of my friends. He moved in to help me with rent.
Yeah.
And he quit his job that day. He moved in, and he actually got driving home tired after the gas station. He rolled his car into a ditch and got fired and lost his license, his car, his job. He lived with me for 3 months, and his girlfriend. She moved in. I'm the only one working. Everybody's partying every day till 5 in the morning. So I ended up having to kick everybody out. And then people started breaking in my house.
What do you mean?
Oh my God! I threw a party. It was a bad neighborhood. It was the house my mom got sick and died in too. So I was having all these nightmares.
The energy.
Yeah, so I just moved out completely, and I was done with it. But it was a rough start to life. People go, you know, my dad said, he goes, "Hey, you're going to learn a lot from this, and you'll realize when you get older." And I realized what I learned was filing bankruptcy. Like, I will never have my child move out and give me every dollar he has.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so weird. Hey, how much money do you have in the bank? Oh, you got $1,300? Give me every cent you have and move out, son. This is how you become a man.
That did not set you up.
And then you know what's
success.
it's like it's just not good, you know?
Dang, we both didn't have head starts. I think that's the thing is like some people, they have such a head start in life. They know they can. I was watching Love is Blind, the latest season, and they were talking about money. And they were like... She was like, "I know my family will lend me money if I need it." Because that's how we all talk in Love is Blind. I'm not sure why. But, anyway, I was just like you're almost 30 and you can still fall back on that. Like, that energy of knowing you're safe will take you very far because that confidence and safety, that nervous system safety is what carries success, in my opinion. I was always walking on eggshells because I only had me to fall back on.
Right.
And I was debilitating shy to ask for help at all times of my life. And then, you know, they go, "Oh, just open your mouth. The worst I can do is say no."
Right.
So I finally, you know, in times I finally muster up the confidence to ask, but I don't know how the heck to ask. There's some, like, really cocky people. They know how to ask and they get it. Me, I don't ask, so I don't know how to ask, and people are like, "No," you know.
I respect the hell out of you though, because
I respect that out of you. You know.
I mean, you really do it. You do stuff. I mean, then the second time you moved to LA, you bought a car. I mean, you just went and got it.
Here's the thing. I think I feel like I'm driving a car with 2 flat tires, so I'm on my way. But I got 2 flat tires, very little resources, so it's exhausting. But, you know,
see,
that's why I created Dream Nudge, though.
Oh, pull it out. I love this.
Some people have amazing resources, and they have people to ask advice. And, you know, I'm lucky now, thank goodness, I put myself in those situations to, meet phenomenal people, but like to keep going when you have absolutely nothing.
Right.
And people look at me like, oh yeah, I don't know.
No, I hear you. It's like,
you need a system. Try Dream Nudge, guys.
My biggest thing is always putting stuff off, always, and
Procrastination.
the goal setting. Yeah, and you know what a big problem I think I had was before was going out at night, drinking and smoking. It's like, I think it all got to start with a center balance, like you need something.
Yeah, you need something. So wait, drinking, do you still do that?
I slowed down drinking, and I slowed down smoking. Now I only want to do it at night. I'm trying to get everything together. I've been trying to budget a little bit.
It's interesting. Once you change a few things in your lifestyle, it has a ripple effect. For example, I started working out 20 minutes, max or whatever, 28 minutes every day, and then I eat healthier.
Yeah.
So that has an effect. Now, since January, I started drinking less. Like,
that's
I
great.
love my wine, guys.
Yeah.
I love my margarita with a burrito. But yeah, I started drinking less, and I have to say, I go out less. I don't even want to. Mornings, I love mornings, afternoons. At night, I don't know. Which is why sometimes I fantasize getting back in stand-up, but I'm like, well, I don't even want to be out at night,
Yeah, and the stand-up game, I don't know, speaking about the confidence and eggshells, that relates to stand-up too, because
it does, yeah.
I used to be on eggshells everywhere I played. Then I realized something where, like, I've always heard this story about Dante Nero used to tell this story. Dante Nero, very funny, cool comedian. He used to tell this story about Patrice O'Neal. They used to play together all the time.
Yeah.
And he'd say one night Patrice was at Stand Up New York, and he was so sick of nothing happening in comedy and the audience is being, like, tough. He's like, you know what, screw these people. I don't even care if they enjoy what I say.
Whoa.
He's like, I really don't care. He's like, they could hate me, they could do whatever. Yeah. And they said that was the change in Patrice that made him like Patrice.
Whoa.
And
there is that not care. What is it? When you care, it pushes it away. When you stop caring, things come in. It's like when you surrender. I've been looking into this because I'm like, I'm trying so hard at a few things and nothing. And then I'm getting these videos about surrender, stop holding on so tight, let go.
Right.
And I think it's kind of like you got to, it's an energy thing. I'm learning life is about energy.
Yeah.
That is all. And because, you see these people, they finally get their goal of 20K months, we'll say. And they feel nothing. They still feel sad. And here's the thing. It's about the energy. Like, when you think
make
about
sure
the
you're talking to the mic, yeah.
Oh, wait, what?
Sorry, make sure you're always talking to the mic.
No, it's about how do you feel when you have 20K? And that reminder, I feel proud. I feel safe. I feel
it makes you not care so much.
Not care. And how can you have that now?
Well, I'll tell you with stand-up, the thing that changed was I realized nobody is going to help me. Like, I remember I did an audition one time at stand-up. I did my first check spot at Stand Up New York, right? Which used to be a prestigious club. Yeah. Stand Up New York was like, oh my gosh, it was like 7 shows a night, remember? Sold out. It would be like Amy Schumer, Chris Rock. I mean, these were the comics on stage in like 2013, 2014. Yeah. And I remember being there so nervous on this check spot that I remember looking at the table. I couldn't even think, my legs shaking. I never got a check spot again from him. I mean, the booker seen me from the camera, probably seen how nervous I was. There was about 15, 20 people there. It was like a 1 a.m. show on a Saturday. I'm doing the check spot. All these checks are dropping. And I realized something. Like, I was already into comedy at that point, like 7 or 8 years. And there was another comic that went up and got no laughs at all, but just looked like he was having fun. He was booked all the time. And I realized, I'm like, yo, I go to the Halloween party. The booker liked this comic that was terrible. She didn't like him sexually. I mean, she just liked him as a person. She's like, he's like my son, she had her arm around him. She's like, I'm here to help him. Yeah. And I realized something people
don't do that as much to women. Like,
yeah, it'd be weird.
They don't.
Yeah.
No, they want like you're my little brother. But like for women, it's like, or I don't know, maybe these days.
Well, I think more women
maybe.
do it for men because women have that mother loving nature, maybe.
For men, but no.
Yeah, a woman will do it for a man, but a man won't tell a girl, "Oh, let me help." He'd help her out for other reasons.
That's why.
I mean,
I've
one
had
because he
more
feels bad, or one
paternal
because he
help,
likes him.
like legit paternal instincts.
What's paternal,
from,
man?
Like fatherly, like, and not creepy, like
Right.
Help from, I hate to say it, men than women. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, well,
like,
men have a soft spot for
I
women.
think these days, though, people come around, though. Like, thankfully, we're all helping each other out in women communities. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Nobody is each other's competitor. There's I think Chelsea Handler said there's a room for everybody. But wait, so, okay,
If
the
somebody
Halloween
wants to help
party-
you, yeah. One thing I realized
Yeah.
is if somebody wants to help you, they will. It's like, also, who could really help you? When you really think about it, who could
Yeah.
really help you? Let's say Louis
Nobody
C.K.
can move your hands for you.
Biggest comedian in the world. I don't know who the biggest comedian is right now.
I really don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, maybe one
Yeah.
Shane Gillis, maybe. And I've met Shane, really nice guy,
Yeah.
very friendly. If I see him on the street, he'll be like, "What's up?" He used to play Old Man Hustle back in the day. He can't do nothing for me. I mean, maybe he could put me on tires.
Right.
How much is that going to really help my career?
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, it might a little.
And
but
I've seen it like even. I don't want to talk. I'm not say even at my previous experience in the industry. I'll say
right.
is you could find somebody you believe in them, but here's the thing: it's like if you're not moving your hands, there's nothing to help. Like PR, okay? I had a little brief stint, doing PR. Okay, you want to be promoted. Like, you want, PR? Well, what are you doing?
Right.
How can help me help you?
Right.
What are you doing that we can promote? And then you have to build something. But what you're talking about, though, I understand. That's why I built Dream That Shoot. This is for the shy creatives who are overlooked because I'm annoyed. You see so much genuine talent overlooked, and then the cocky guy,
Right.
the cocky ones who just have that inherent, maybe they don't have a lot of trauma. They didn't have to go through a lot. They get right up there because they're feeling good. They're safe. Their nervous system is good. So it's like the undiscovered talent. Like, we got it. No one's going to move our hands for us. So it's like believing in ourselves is like a weird formula to getting this stuff done.
And there's no cheating hard work. Like, if you're doing
Yeah.
something, if you got somebody that you work with, like me especially, I've seen this a lot. Me and you've been doing comedy forever.
Well, I have to say, I stopped.
Yeah, you've
pretty
been on
much.
and off, but your mind's always in
Yeah,
comedy.
it's always in comedy. Yeah.
I know I've seen this. There was so many people that I remember. I'm like 19 years in comedy. I remember there was this one kid
But
from.
you're like 20.
Yeah.
You were doing it when you were 1?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, really.
You were a baby?
I was like, most of those guys that get big up top off potential, it doesn't
yeah.
last. Like, I knew a comedian. He was passed at the Cellar 2 years into comedy. People didn't realize he was just doing other people's material. And then eventually it caught up to him.
Yeah.
But the dude stayed at the Cellar for like 4 or 5 years.
Is he still doing it?
No, he's
You
not in
see,
anywhere.
It's almost like this immense amount of embarrassment from knowing you've had an opportunity and blew it. That is.
And I don't even know if it's blow it. You know what I think it is?
Yeah, nobody blew it.
I think it's they grab off potential, and then you
Right.
have about 10 years till that potential runs out.
Yeah.
It's very hard to actually become funny and famous,
Right. Well, my
without the
friend-
end.
Yeah, she saw this TikToker. She sent me the link. She's like, "Do you know him?" And I was like, "I never in my life seen this guy at an open mic or a show." And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to see him." I was like, "Cool, awesome. Tell me how it went." She's like, "Yeah, it was so bad." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Well, all right, because he has the the TikTok gout
Yeah,
or
sorry.
not the
got
gout,
my
the
knees.
TikTok clout."
Oh, the gout. Yeah, I got the gout, actually.
I said the TikTok gout, but the TikTok
I thought you were
clout.
talking about me moving my legs. I got the gout one time. Eat cherries for the gout, ladies and
Gout.
gentlemen. Stay away from potatoes and
Yeah.
beer.
What is it about the cherry? Yeah, some sort of thing in cranberry.
Yeah, I know cherries. Cherries is real good for the
That's
gout.
cool. Oh my gosh.
I had it once.
But that's why you're so great is because you literally are hitting the pavement plus the content pavement.
Yeah, I've been hitting it a lot. I mean, there's no easy way to talk. So we did have a money episode, but I'm glad it kind of went a little different way. But I think we could still rip a couple of these.
I kind of like that. Like we have the inspiration, and then we just flow with it.
And money is a big part of it. I mean, here's my problem. Sorry for bumping into you.
No, it's okay.
I've never had an extra You knew me. Like, I remember one time I hung out with you. You were working a lot. And I remember you spent like $6 on a chocolate bar one time.
Oh, my God.
And I remember being like, how could she afford to do that? Like, that's not even real food.
I definitely was heavy in debt.
I never had $5 to my name. So people don't realize all the bullshit that you have to go through when you have no money at all. Like,
absolutely. Oh, and we want to talk about not only no money, but being in New York and having so I was trying to tell like my boyfriend about how, like I wear dollar clothes. I go to my Goodwill every Sunday, and I get my dollar sale. So
really,
and I'm just like, I have my boyfriend do my hair trims. I do my own nails, and I'm here in New York, not competing, but not trying to gain respect. But people do judge your appearance. They judge your ability by how you look. So if I could afford the blowout, the $150 haircut, the nice clothes, the nice shoes, the good, always new Sephora makeup and the nails, you couldn't even sweat me. Like, you couldn't even catch me. I'd be so fast. So doing all of this with absolutely nothing, it's like driving in the NASCAR. What's the NASCAR race?
Yeah, the Daytona 500.
It's like, all right, here, when you're in New York with no money and you're doing a creative craft, it's like you're driving in the Daytona 500 with an 89 Corolla.
Right.
Actually, Corollas are good. With an 89 minivan Chrysler.
Kids in the back seat.
Yeah, kids in the back seat. With diesel when it's a regular gasoline car. It's like you're driving, you're trying. But I will say, yeah, do you felt like that? Like,
I feel like that only with
but guys
money.
have it different.
Well, if I look too good on stage, it's actually harder for me. I like to look very normal on stage.
That's fascinating.
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
in real life, well, I'm a very normal guy. So it's like if I dress in a nice suit, that's not me. I'm a typical Ohio, Midwestern guy. But
if you wore nice shoes, people would be like, who does he think he is?
I'll tell you where I notice it at is I'm hanging out with these millionaires a little bit because, some people are rich and famous. I mean, I have some friends of mine that got a lot of money and some people that might just be fans of mine through social media that I met in New York. They're successful, And I was with these guys. I mean, we're around girls and they were around. One thing I noticed about girls is they're so quick at spotting. They know who has the money.
Wow.
They could tell from what you're wearing. Like the girl actually knew.
Oh my gosh.
My suit was like a Burlington suit.
Burlington Coat Factory?
Yeah, like she's like, what is that? Like a $100 suit?
Wait, oh my God.
No, it's literally a $100 Kenneth Cole reaction suit. And she knew it.
What the heck?
Yeah, she's like, that's such a cheap suit. What is that like? I forgot what she said, like Calvin Klein, and it was cheaper than Calvin Klein.
You see, that's so poor thinking, in my opinion. Like, here she is thinking about money and on her high horse, but what a poor perspective. That is like
it even a step further. You know what
there.
she did? She stole my buddy's Rolex, saying she would sleep with him. She's rubbing on his thigh, right? She's like, let me wear it for some pictures.
That's a scam artist.
So she disappears, and he waits outside for her. She comes out with security, walks her to the car, and she didn't even work there. She was just there hanging out, right?
Yeah.
It's this bottle service type, like these nightclubs, what they do in like Miami and these places, especially Miami, is like these bottle service places. They tell a bunch of girls, hey, come by tonight, dress up. You can eat and drink all night for free. When I blow a whistle, just dress kind of revealing, and all the girls come over. And that's exactly what they do. When somebody orders a bottle for like $800, this dude blows a whistle, 11 girls come over like pigeons. They all do a shot, the bottle's gone. When somebody orders a steak, it's gone like that. Then they go do another bottle. So they got my buddy for his
God.
Rolex. He's married. He's waiting outside now
Oh,
for the
now-
girl to leave for the Rolex. It's like
Yeah.
a $20,000 Rolex. Nice Rolex.
Okay.
And she's like, listen, the night's over. You gave it to me. And it was done deal. you
Okay.
know?
That is wild, and that's terrible she did that. I will say, your buddy's married. Why did he put himself
Right.
in that position?
I know.
That is kind of a form of cheating, right?
That's cheating. Oh, listen, this
It is.
guy.
You put yourself in that position. You're married, like, right?
you
I
know.
I don't know.
Right. Don't be
I
getting
don't
putting your
know.
Rolex on a girl's arm.
Literally, that is
Miami's a crazy place.
yeah.
You know.
Oh, well, dang, that's wild.
So
Did he
guys,
try-
I was gonna
sorry.
do one thing with
Yeah,
budgeting.
one more
I feel
thing.
like this
Okay.
is so important with
Wait,
budgeting.
Okay, I have one thing. It's budget and fashion related. I was watching this TikTok. I'm sorry, I don't know whose TikTok it was, but she said that she found herself feeling uncomfortable dressing really nice in front of people, and I really related because when I have my heels on and I'm better dressed than people, I kind of feel uncomfortable.
Really?
And so she was talking to her therapist, like, hey, what is the deal with that? So her therapist, and I'm sorry again, I don't know who to said this, but her therapist said, because that means that you were unequal, or you were. Oh God, I botched it up.
I
but
love
pretty
secondhand
much
therapy.
By her, this is like 10 pan therapy. But pretty much her therapist was saying, well, because that means that you weren't putting yourself to their level, so it made you feel uncomfortable. And why does that make you feel uncomfortable when you're, a little like dressed nicer than people? You know what I mean? So it's like. Interesting. Can we be comfortable with shining bright? And it might give people the permission to do so. When I see girls like, dressed to the nines, I'm inspired. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your lip color, what is that? Especially with red lips. Like, I'm like, okay, I was always too shy to wear the red lip. But seeing at you, I'm like, okay, I kind of want to wear a red lip. You know? So by us, it's kind of, we dim our light. That's what I'm trying to say. We dim our light to avoid judgment. And what if we're just okay with feeling judged because people are going to hate? Like, when you're like rising up a little bit, you're going to, you're coming up.
When I'm
there are people clawing you to go back on their level.
When I'm dressed a little bit nice, I feel good, but I don't like being extravagant. Like, I want to be able to be extravagant. Like, when girls do the eyelashes, the heels, the thing that ties your stomach up, all these things, I'm like, they got the lipsticks, their teeth can't touch.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then, you ever see the girls, they stand differently too? It's like, I can't do all that. It's like, there's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on, and it's like not healthy. Like the fake eye. Well, I don't know. I've had some friends who have had good eyelash experiences, but you have to be careful with those. And I was reading about these, women over the years wearing the high heels, they get these big old bunions. So it's like, protect your feet now, because your feet cramping in the little thing.
It's something. I never spend money on
too much
clothes.
coffee.
My
Yeah.
friend's making fun of me because I had these jeans for a year.
What?
I'm just cheap, but
Wait,
so we got a
year for
budgeting.
jeans is not that long.
Well, it's my only pair of pants. I wear them every day, but
my
I wash them.
You got to come to Goodwill. Dollar
Yeah, I
Sundays.
should. I do TJ Maxx. I might do Nordstrom. So here we got a little budgeting thing we promised for you guys, which I can't even hit this budget mark in New York City. Maybe you guys can. I don't know. But it says budget reality, which I never even knew that this was possible. They say 50% of your income should be for your needs. Now, this is, I'm guessing, after taxes because it's money you spent, right?
Yeah.
50% of income is needs. Rent, food, water.
I was going to say break it down.
I guess haircuts, getting your teeth cleaned, all that stuff, the necessities, 50% of your income. So it's kind of crazy to think if you only make $3,000 a month take home, It only leaves you $1,500 for a cell phone, metro, food, haircuts, teeth clean, new sneakers when you need them.
Metro's a need, right?
Right, that's a need.
You gotta get to work.
That's it for us, y'all. We hope that you learned something. We hope you had a good time hanging out with us. Tune in next week.
Good afternoon. All right, thanks, guys.